And we're going to start off the next video with how I'm doing on my railroad overpass. Last video showed some of the work that I had been doing over on this end of the layout. You know, all of this is less than 2 feet long, so a fairly compact scene. I got the wing walls put in tonight on this. I will be actually doing the scenery tomorrow. Got the track painted, just need to clean it. You can kind of see from an overview on how I'm going to do it. I'll pack the angled area out with sculpt mold, and then I will build up the fill area very much the same as what I did here, using some materials from the garden. I'll build it up over here as well, blend it in. A little bit tighter fill over on that side, not too much because I've got limestone cliff on there. And here I'll just kind of fill this in because I've got a little gully coming between the tracks heading down. But that'll be the next snippet on this video. All right, Sunday afternoon, and I have Sculptamold in place around where the wing walls are and the train overpass. I will let it dry a little bit, and then I will do the scenery work. Again, same thing as what I've done on the other ones. I've got a mix of Woodland Scenics product. I've got a mix of stuff from my garden. Road will come later, but track is all painted and mostly cleaned. I got a couple of spots I can see even in the video where I gotta take the Bright Boy back over it. But next video segment will be showing this pretty well done. Well, 30 minutes since the last segment on this video. I used full strength Elmer's glue wall, white glue, on the Sculptamold. Sculptamold was not dry by any means, but as long as it had a hard surface on it, you put the glue on, it dries slowly over a number of days once it gets buried, so it's fine where it is. You can see I've already got it blended in. You really can't tell where I left off. Got to clean up on the track a little bit and ballast, but both sides are done. I've got pins just holding the retaining walls. I did dump some full strength Elmer's glue sort of between where the foam riser was and the ends for the overpass. That will dry a little bit. Got the other side done as well. I'll pull the pins after a while, but right now I'm going to ballast and finish this little piece off here. Although I will add a few trees, just some small ones in a couple of locations, not too much. I want to be able to look at this particular scene pretty much as it is, so just a little bit more detailing, and I will call this one good. Well, here we go. Got this done. Yeah, at least for now. I'll probably always add some details later. But it has been about 2 hours since I started this project. You saw how it started. Got the Sculptamold on, got everything in place. Ballast is down. Pins are pulled. Everything is set good enough. And there we go. Kind of pull it back. I'll have some trains running on this fairly soon, and we'll see how it looks. Well, still on vacation and still doing a little bit more on the layout here. So what I'm going to start doing is putting in roads, and I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an asphalt road going in to the industrial area and yard and service facilities. So I've got crossings put in here, Blair line, perfect for this. A little bit of super glue and they're in place. And what I'm going to do is I decided against doing a concrete road. Pour in the plaster, I can do that. I did a lot of that over on the HO scale layout. But towards the end over in my fuel facility, which I don't know that we can get a good view, is I hit upon using fine ballast, cinder, or just black. to put into place. Put down a layer of glue, and then I used a spoon and screened on the ballast. Then I used, over on the HO scale, I used a pop can to roll it, to press it into place, give it a look like it's asphalt, and it turned out pretty well. So over here, I'm going to use just dark cinder ballast, same as what I used over in the engine yard. I have already put this in place. I've used my hand here, just kind of palm to just tap it in very gently, kind of take out the ridges. I'm going to spray it with isopropyl alcohol, and then I'm going to glue it before I do anything else. I want to make sure that this looks good once I get it into place, and then I'm going to start going along and just doing the whole thing. I can use my palm here, I can use my palm there. I get farther along, and what I'm going to do is I will run a road in through here and over to here. You can kind of see I've already got on the ground a T intersection going over here. Blacktop will go that way. Dirt just kind of going this way because it's just a stub end. I'll probably have a little storage building or something there. Coming across, going over this way, I'll do a blacktop, heading over towards the industrial area and the engine house. You might notice I took out this section of track. This was a siding, and I had it kind of on the long side so that I could get an engine and several cars, well, a lot of cars actually, go in to switch over here, but it only goes into this industry and the coaling tower. I didn't need it to be as long as I had it, which was to over to here, so I got rid of it. Makes it easier for me because then all I need is 2 road crossings over here. It looks a little bit better, opens up the space. Still have it end here so that I can get an engine and several cars in to kind of do some switching a little bit later. So that's where I sit, a little bit more once I get this part farther along. And I think this is going to work out pretty good. So you can see I've got some additional pieces in. Right now the glue is drying. Once the glue is all set, I'm going to use some chalk and gray it up a little bit to kind of kill that really dark sheen, and that should work pretty well on this. I got a set of graduated chalks, I guess I'll call them that, from a Hobby Lobby store. It goes from white to black, and then many different shades in between, so I'll kind of scrape up some of the grays, put it into a little powder, and then brush that on once the glue sets. And I'm getting ready. I'm gonna take it the rest of the way in. I've got enough ballast that I can do that. Run it across and get it up there. So today's a road day, and a little bit farther along. So still Monday afternoon. I've got more of the blacktop down. You can see where I've trimmed it so that it is roughly the width of a 2-lane road. Had a bunch of areas that were kind of bulged out, and that's okay. I just trim it back. So I've got it down, and you can see this part over here. The glue is still very fresh. I just glued it in place like I did before. I put glue down on the foam board and then sprinkled a base coat of the cinder on top, and then added additional cinder to thicken it up, so it's probably about 1/8 of an inch thick. Then on top of that, I tamped it down just ever so slightly, and then added isopropyl alcohol, sprayed on top of all of it, and put glue on. Now what I'll do is I will just kind of let it all dry for a while. Then I'm going to come back in, and on that area I will use a spray can top, this side, and just sort of roll it like a steamroller. Flatten it out a little bit, compact it a little bit even more, but I need to do it when the glue is pretty well set, or else it will peel up with the top. If I do it when it is still ever so slightly tacky, then the particles stay in place, and I can get like I've got here. You can kind of see it is nice and flat. This I've tamped down using that cap a couple of times. Then I'm going to let it all dry, and tomorrow I should be able to chalk it up and make it more of a gray, make it look like it's been there for a while. And then I can finish doing some scenic details right around here. And you know, I've still got some more to do over here. And I can probably finish this area up before I go back to work. I've got a little area here as well. You can see where this glue is kind of pulled away a little bit. That you can just kind of rub with a finger and seal it. But I'm still having fun. I'm glad I took an extra couple of days of vacation. Getting a lot done and having a good time, especially since it's very hot outside. It's fun to be in the garage where it's comfortable. And it is still Monday night. So I've been doing more detailing in this scene. It's dry enough where I could put some vehicles on this piece where I did it first, but I've been doing some of the landscaping on the other side. You can still see it's wet, you can still see the color differentiation, but moving in front of the light, you can kind of get an idea of how this scene is coming together. So one more snippet on this after I get the chalk tomorrow, and that'll be it for this one. All right, this one will be the last segment for this post. So I found the right colors of chalk, a good combination of medium grays to take that bright black cinder that I had into what looks more like real asphalt. I've got a couple of white markers on order so that I can add some hash lines on the road. But right now I've got chalks on everything. I think it looks pretty good. I might go back, put a little bit more chalk in a few areas, but this area is pretty well done, except for the markings. You can kind of see what I've got over there. So that's it. That's it for this post, I promise. Take care, everybody, and keep having fun with your layouts.